Hello, everybody. I'm Dr. Truett Bogner. On this episode of Disabilities Redefined, you're going to meet one of the coolest musicians in New York City. And he got his start on Sesame Street. Everybody meet Kean.
My name is Kean, and I love being a musician. It's a beautiful way to connect with people in a very divided world. You can convey feelings in a way that I've never experienced an art form that quite does it the same way. You can bring people together who otherwise might not get along. You can share your story without ever telling anybody about yourself. I always tell people, if you want to learn about a musician, listen to the way they play. My first real show business experience was on Sesame Street. A friend of my dad's from childhood was one of the producers of Sesame Street, and they needed a little blind kid, and my dad was happy to supply them with one, and it was a blast. It was a really good thing to do. I learned a lot about professionalism. People were wonderful. The directors were super, super talented, but also understood kids. But I learned how to focus in a way that would come back to help me a few years later. I mean, I probably was on there when I was about 7 or 8, and by 13 or 14, I was on gigs and learning music for people and having to be a grown-up. And I love actors and respect actors too greatly to ever call myself a trained actor. But I've been in a lot of commercials, and I was just on NBC's The Blacklist, which is a beautiful experience. I was in a really pivotal position in the show that helped explain some of a very important piece of the plot, and that's really an honor. And I've had a lot of experiences that feel very Forrest Gump-like. I was just there at the right time, and I somehow was able to do it. And that acting stuff has been definitely one of those experiences. I wouldn't have considered myself a child prodigy. I was a really poor student. I started playing at 2 because I loved it and it was fun. But I was not a guy that sat down and enjoyed doing scales and working on classical pieces. I liked to play what I heard on the radio. And the bug, the real music bug, and anything that you love and will have a love affair with throughout your life will bite a person like this. I got bitten about 10 or 11, and it was on after that. And music was such a great way to connect with people, and I knew from a very early age that blind people just did it differently. I won't say better, because better is such a subjective thing, but blind people, from my experience, have an amazing way of connecting our feelings with our music. We don't have control of our facial expressions in a cognizant way. We don't know how to lie with our eyes or smile when we don't want to or make ourselves cry on command. But we can deliver something into music that I've definitely met sighted people that did, but I know a lot more blind people that have done that, and I really work hard to be one of those. My confidence is complicated. I have social confidence just from having to be interesting. I think most people can go through the world just being. Where disabled people, we have to be big presences. We have to make people like us. I mean, it's a survival tactic. So I've always been good at that. I'm fun at a party. I was always fun at a party. But music is different. It's something I define myself by, and something other people define me by as well. So I feel a great deal of pressure to be the greatest I can be, and you're never quite as good as you hope to be. And I think that's true of all of us in anything we try, but that's a huge source of worry. And all I can do when it's showtime is to try to forget and just go. And most of the time I can. And I'm really thankful for that, because I've seen in my own life, through others and my own experiences, lack of confidence can break more people than inability ever could. As a disabled person, my talent has allowed me to meet people and connect with people in a way that I wouldn't have otherwise. When you're a blind kid, I don't know about today, maybe things are different, but I think the world is the world and life is life, and people are people. And kids love to play outside and love to play video games and sports and a lot of things that a blind kid is not going to get invited to. And very quickly, I saw that I had a thing that people a lot cooler than me, a lot older than me, and a lot more popular than I was, respected greatly. And that really was a light bulb moment for me. There's a lot of strikes against us all, every human being, but disabled people have to make bigger steps. We have to make a bigger presence. We have to make a bigger splash in the world, and that's just the way the world is. And I'm really thankful I found something that I love that also resonates with people in a way that allows me to go places I wouldn't have gone otherwise, to meet people I wouldn't have met otherwise, and to do things I never even dreamed of. Favorite story. I'll give you my favorite story. So I was about 20, I think I just turned 22, and a record deal I had was coming to an end, and nothing of substance that was coming from it. And other than the experience, which was wonderful, I was pretty dejected about my career and was wondering if I should make a change. And Steve Harvey got a radio show flagshipped on our local station, our local R&B station, WBLS. He still has it, and it's all over the country. And he had, in his first couple of weeks, a talent search at the Apollo Theater. And everybody I knew, I mean, people I knew from all walks of life, were calling me up and saying, Dan, you would go over so big, people would love you. And I'm like, Danny Kean at the Apollo sounds like the worst idea I've ever heard. And so I call up after all this pressure, and I'm running out of time. And I called up the producers and said, well, can I bring a keyboard? I don't want to just sing. I don't feel confident without my keyboard or a guitar or something. But I love to play piano mostly. I'm super comfortable at it. So they said, yeah, but you can't bring an amplifier. So I was wondering how I was going to fix this. So I went to my mother's garage, and I found one of those little keyboards for kids with the blue buttons that light up when you play it. And I found an old tray table I borrowed from a wedding party I had to play when I was 15. Somehow forgot to give it back. And we drove in and set it up. And I started playing a little bit. And Steve said, son, with gear like that, and this is in front of everybody, with son with gear like that, you're either a crackhead or a great musician. And I started playing. He goes, you're definitely not a crackhead. And I won the Apollo that day and 3 more times after that.
Excellent. Wow.
And that was a big light bulb moment for me, that self-doubt is normal, but there's always a next. There's always a next time to get it right. There's always a next time to show what you got. There's always a next time to prove to yourself that you deserve good things. And that's really what show business is. I don't care what level you're at. We're all trying to make it again.